Judges 2:23. So the Lord gave them not those nations, and did not dispose them of the mountains, and gave them not the hand of Joshua. Oftentimes what God gives us is a reflection of our service to Him. We serve without fullness of faith, or we're disobedient, and He ain't gonna give us what He had planned. Isaiah 1:14 and 15. Okay. Isaiah 1:14 and 15. Your new moons and your appointed feasts my soul hateth. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. In fact, these new moons and these feasts that they're celebrating ain't bad in itself. It's just their heart ain't doing it. They're going through rituals. They're thinking they're okay because they're completing these rituals. It's the same today. Probably God's view to those that are in church who go through emotions but don't have a heart for Him, who ain't sold out for Him. He hates it because it's a false sense of security. It also makes people think, okay, as long as I'm that, I'm okay. And other Jews probably considered themselves okay because they were keeping these new moons and these feasts that the other were keeping, while none of them really had a heart seeking the Lord. When we have a heart to seek the Lord, there are certain things we will do. But doing them things doesn't necessarily mean we have a heart for the Lord. And they were doing some of the right things, but they weren't stopping from doing a lot of what was wrong. They were trying to live a life that pleased God and live the life that pleased them. Doing both can't happen at the same time. Verse 15. And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. This may be a reference to the fact that they were doing child sacrifice. This may be a reference to the extreme violence that they're involved in. But either way, because of this, God wasn't willing to hear their prayers. We got untapped sin in our lives that we are not addressing. Sometimes God won't hear our prayers. That doesn't mean every time our prayer isn't answered and isn't a yes, it doesn't mean we don't. It doesn't mean that. Sometimes God's answer is no, not now. I got something different. But for them particularly, God wasn't hearing their prayers because they were praying for self. They were seeking what they wanted through their prayer and not seeking what God wanted of them. Which, when we seek God in prayer, first thing we need to do is seek what He wants for us, not what we want out of Him. God wants to hear from what we want. What we're to be content with what He gives us. Which sometimes it's hard because it's not at all what we prayed for. But we're to still follow Him. They may have been basing their service to God off of their prayers, which is very likely. And we're not to do that. We're not to serve based off Him answering our prayers the way we want, because then we're serving what we want, not God. We're to pray, and praying for what we want isn't necessarily wrong. But we're to serve Him the way He answers our prayer.